Hi everyone, my name is Florian Berton and I will present you today my work on the eye gaze activity while working in a crowd environment, how to study it in VR, and about the effect of crowd density on eye gaze behavior. I will start by giving some element of context to this work and introduce why such study is interesting in the field of crowd modeling and simulation. So many crowd simulators are based on an agent-based approach where the behavior of a crowd is simulated by modeling the behavior of each individual and how they interact with other agents. So here, for instance, is a video from the point of view of a person immersed in a virtual street in a crowd driven by such crowd simulator. And we can notice that there is no collision between agents in the crowd, but also these agents are avoiding the person immersed in fear. So in this kind of crowd simulator, there are three main components. First, a local model of interaction which describes how each agent motion influences other agents' motion, for instance in order to avoid collision or to follow another agent. Then, the second element is a method to combine several simultaneous interactions, as for instance, avoiding one agent and following another agent at the same time. Then, the final element is the interaction neighborhood, that defines which agents is interacting with which other agent. It can be, for instance, all agents within a distant threshold. So in order to achieve realistic crowd simulation, it is important that each component can be compared with observation data. So the first two components require to understand how each person is adjusting his trajectory in the presence of others, and is generally studied based on workers' trajectories. However, understanding interaction neighborhood is more difficult, because we need to understand in a set of neighbors which subset exactly did influence one's motion and its adjustment. So the intuition behind this work is that the analysis of gaze behavior in parallel with trajectory analysis can help understanding interaction neighborhood. The main idea is that you probably look at the person you interact with. So this example will help understanding this idea. You can see here an agent walking close to three other moving people. He didn't go straight to his goal, but he adjusts his trajectory to avoid collision. Now, from the trajectory only, it is difficult to figure out which other agent he took into consideration in order to adjust his trajectory. However, if we display the gaze activity as well, things get more clear. The cause of a specific adjustment can be guessed from the gaze activity of the agent. For instance, we can assume that the source of a specific adjustment is the neighbor agent that was gazed at just before. So there is more and more work at the intersection of gaze, locomotion, and interaction between walkers, and they were conducted both in real or virtual environment. For example, Kitazawa was interested in the gaze and personal space, and he shows that gaze is equally distributed between elements present in the environment. Croft looked at the gaze during collision avoidance between two pedestrians, and he shows that it could be used to predict crossing order. In virtual environment, Jovanovich demonstrates that gaze is task-dependent, and Merov shows that gaze is attracted toward elements with high risk of collision. This latter supports our idea that gaze gives more information about the interaction neighborhood, since gaze is attracted towards neighbors that will require to be avoided. So in our work, we are interested into studying gaze behavior in VR, and in the past few years there has been more and more studies on human behavior in VR. The reason is that it gives a more accurate control of the experimental conditions and factors. It will also ease the exact replication of a stimuli for each participant, and in our case, it will provide a better control to the relative motion of all the different agents that compose the dynamic environment, which would be very difficult to achieve in real conditions. So crowd behaviors were previously studied in VR. For example, Young studied the effect of emotions in crowd behaviors. Silva and his colleagues show that sound has no effect on maneuvers to avoid collision with three other walkers, and Dickinson demonstrates that crowd density has an impact on the participant's affective state. And in this work, we are interested to explore the effect of density on interaction neighborhood, and more especially, how density may increase or decrease the number of neighbors. And as we want to study gaze activity in VR, one important question is to know whether VR affects gaze behaviors. So during tasks where participants were seated and have to either look at a light or look at a person moving objects, Fell and Rubot show that gaze activity was qualitatively similar, but there were some differences regarding head rotations. Furthermore, in our present work, we have to compare gaze activity during a collision avoidance task with another worker. We compare the task performed in a real environment as well as 4 different virtual reality setups, and our conclusion was similar to Fell and Rubot. But actually, there is no study which compares gaze activity on a more complex situation like walking into a crowd, where possible targets for the gaze are many. In this work, we carried out 2 experiments. In the first experiment, we seek to evaluate the bias induced by VR on gaze activity. Our hypotheses are similar to the results of previous studies. We expect to have a eye gaze behavior similar in both conditions, with some quantitative differences in eye gaze activity. In the second experiment, we are interested on the impact of crowd density on eye gaze activity. We expect to have a scanning frequency which decreases when the crowd density increases. Furthermore, we also expect that gaze will be more focused towards the goal to reach when the crowd density increases. To this end, and for these 2 experiments, we designed a task where participants were in a street with a crowd, which corresponds to a daily life situation. They had to navigate between 2 shops and avoid collision with the other pedestrians present in the environment. So we perform our study on eye gaze activity by describing it as a succession of fixations separated by saccades. So a fixation is a spatial cluster of successive gaze points, and you can see here in the image each fixation represented by a color, and on average a fixation lasts about 200 to 300 milliseconds. So we use different metrics to compare gaze activity. First, we considered the average duration of gaze fixation. Then we also compute the average amplitude of saccade, which corresponds to the distance between 2 successive fixations. We also look at the spatial distribution of the fixation, and more especially, we consider the gaze coverage, which is the spatial area covered by all the gaze fixation. I will now present the first experiment that compares the eye gaze activity for the walking task performed in real and virtual conditions. In this experiment, we had 16 participants. So this experiment was decomposed into 4 main steps. First, we asked participants to perform the task in a real street. They wore glasses with a camera to record their gaze and what they saw. Then, in the second step, using deep learning approaches, we could count the number of people that the participant crossed using the video recorded. This enabled us to estimate the crowd density. And note that what we call here crowd density is the number of visible people in front of the participant. Then third, we generate a scenario in VR with a similar crowd density. And finally, we ask participants to perform the task again in VR, and we record again the gaze and what they saw. We further check that the visual crowd density in virtual conditions match the real ones, as illustrated in the bottom right plot. So in first place, we explore the average duration of fixation and the average amplitude of saccades, and our results show that the average fixation is significantly longer in virtual conditions, and that the average saccade amplitude is higher in real conditions. Regarding the eye gaze distribution, we found a centered distribution for both conditions and no effect on the gaze coverage. So the conclusion of this first experiment is that there is quantitative differences in eye gaze activity between real and virtual environment. This validated our first hypothesis H1.1. These differences can be due to the lack of realistic details in the virtual condition. This means that the gaze has maybe less things to explore. It also can be due to the reduced field of view in virtual conditions. Part of the environment is no more visible in virtual conditions, and thus can't attract the gaze. However, we also found a similar eye gaze behavior with a centered distribution, thus validating our second hypothesis. This result is in line with previous studies that gaze activity is dependent of the task. In this experiment, participants have to perform the exact same task in an environment very similar to each other. I will now present the second experiment that we performed on the impact of crowd density on eye gaze activity, and in this experiment we had 18 participants. So for this experiment, we asked participants to perform the task in a total of 6 different crowd density. And here is a video from the point of view of a participant with the lowest density. We record his gaze and what he saw over time. Now, a video with the highest crowd density. Furthermore, the range of the crowd density was from 0.03 pedestrians per square meter up to 0.4 pedestrians per square meter. So we explored again the duration of fixation and amplitude of saccades, and the results show that there was no impact of crowd density on the average fixation duration. However, the saccade amplitude is higher for the first two density conditions compared to any other one. When exploring spatial distribution of fixations, we found again a centered distribution whatever the crowd density, and a higher gaze coverage for the first density condition compared to any other density. I will present now our conclusion for this second experiment. And first, we notice that the eye gaze behavior is qualitatively similar for all conditions, as we have a centered distribution. This result is again in line with previous studies that gaze spatial distribution is dependent of the task, and in our case, whatever the crowd density, participants has to perform the same task in the same environment. Now, we also found that the scanning frequency remains constant when we increase the crowd density, as the fixation duration was similar for all conditions. This invalidates our first hypothesis, H2.1, that scanning frequency should decrease with density. I will now give recommendation for the design of crowd simulation algorithm that we can deduce from our study. And in terms of interaction neighborhood, we believe that the size of the subset of agents that compose a neighborhood should be constant. Indeed, the fact that the scanning frequency is not changing with density let us think that people do not tend to consider more people when walking in denser areas. However, to truly validate this, we need to analyze if the fixation were, for instance, more on the ground than on pedestrians, or also how many pedestrians were looked at and how many times each pedestrian was looked at. Finally, note that our conclusions are today limited to the situation we have studied, which was to walk in a street where crowd flows are many bidirectional ones. And as a result, we are interested in validating these recommendations in other situations in our future work. Finally, our last result shows that participant gaze is more focused in a crowd of high densities, as we have a gaze coverage and saccade amplitude higher for the first condition of crowd density. This result is in line with previous study that gaze is attracted toward objects with higher risk of collision, and in our case, the region in front of the participant is the area where agents have the highest risk of collisions. So our recommendation for crowd simulator is that during the selection of agents in the neighborhood, we have to order them by risk of collision. In our future work, we want to analyze the eye gaze activity for different kinds of crowd flows, such as, for instance, a crossing crowd flows, in order to extend the scope of our conclusions and give more general recommendations for crowd simulator. We also want to analyze the semantic of objects fixated and also the relation between participants' trajectory and gaze activity. So thank you for listening to this presentation, and I will be happy to answer any question you have about this work.